Do you wake up at night to use the bathroom not once, but 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times? Do you lie there in the dark afterward trying to fall back asleep and your mind just will not quiet down? And then morning comes and you feel it, that heavy, groggy exhaustion that follows you through the whole day like you never really rested at all. If that is your life right now, I want you to know something. You are not alone. And more importantly, you do not have to keep living this way. Today I'm going to explain why this is happening to you, and I am going to share some natural steps that many people find genuinely helpful. But I want to tell you this right now, one of the biggest reasons this keeps happening has nothing to do with what you drink before bed. It starts hours earlier, in a way that most people never connect. I will come back to that in just a moment. Now, before anything else, I want to ask you something simple. How many times do you typically wake up at night to use the bathroom? Once, twice, or more than that? Just drop your number in the comments below. It takes 2 seconds, and it helps me understand what you are going through, and it helps others reading those comments feel a little less alone. People assume that waking up multiple times at night is just what getting older feels like. They accept it. They stop planning trips. They stop sleeping in the same room as their partner because they do not want to disturb them. One woman I spoke with told me she had not slept more than 3 hours in a row for 2 years. 2 years. And she had never once asked her doctor about it because she assumed there was nothing to be done. That broke my heart a little because there is quite a bit that can be done, and most of it starts with understanding why this happens in the first place. So let us start there. And the second reason I'm about to share might actually surprise you more than the first. The medical name for waking up to urinate at night is nocturia. And as we get older, several things shift in the body that make this more likely. The first is sleep itself. As we age, we naturally spend less time in deep, uninterrupted sleep. Our sleep becomes lighter, and that means smaller signals from the body, including a modest urge to urinate, can now wake us up. At 30 years old, that same signal might not have registered at all. Now it does. The second factor is the bladder. Over time, the bladder can become a little less elastic. It may not hold as much as it once did, and the muscles that support and control it may have weakened somewhat. This is especially true for women who have had children and for men dealing with changes in the prostate. But this is not the whole picture, not by a long way. Because here is what most people never realize. A huge part of nighttime urination is not about the bladder at all. It is about fluid. And this is the part that changes everything. When you sit for long periods during the day in a chair, in front of the television, in the car, fluid slowly pools in the lower part of your legs. You might notice it as mild puffiness around your ankles by evening. That fluid just sits there during the day. But the moment you lie down at night, your body begins redistributing it. It gets absorbed back into circulation, sent to the kidneys, and turned into urine. And so you wake up not because something is wrong with your bladder, but because your body is simply doing its job at the wrong time of night. I will tell you exactly what to do about that in just a few minutes. But first, there is one more hidden cause that most people overlook entirely, and it is something you are probably doing every single day. Caffeine. Most of us know not to drink coffee an hour before bed, but here is what many people do not know. Caffeine can stay active in your body for 6 to 8 hours. That means an afternoon cup of tea at 3 o'clock is still irritating your bladder at 10 or 11 at night. I once spoke with a man in his early 70s who had switched to herbal tea in the evenings and still could not understand why he was waking up twice a night. When we talked through his day, it turned out he had a strong black tea every afternoon around 2 or 3. That one change, moving it to the morning, made a meaningful difference within a week. He could not believe something that simple had been keeping him up. There is also alcohol, which a lot of people use in the evening to help them relax. The problem is that alcohol suppresses a hormone that normally helps your body hold on to fluid overnight. Without it, your kidneys make more urine than they should while you sleep. So even one glass of wine in the evening can push nighttime trips higher. And then there are medications. Certain blood pressure medicines, water pills, and other common prescriptions can increase urination as a side effect, sometimes quite significantly. If you are taking medications and your nighttime waking is a new or worsening problem, please do bring that up with your doctor. That conversation is worth having. Now, I promised you I would come to the part that surprises people, the part that starts hours before bedtime, and we are getting there. But first, let me share the most important practical steps, one at a time, The first step is about when you drink, not just how much. This one shifts things for a lot of people. The goal is not to drink less water overall. Staying hydrated during the day is important, but try to get most of your fluids into your body during the morning and early afternoon, then gently taper off as the afternoon goes on. By the time you are within about 2 hours of sleep, keep any liquids small, just enough to take a medication or to sip if you are genuinely thirsty. Your kidneys do not need to process a large glass of water at 9 at night. Giving them the bulk of their work earlier means less work overnight. Now, the next step is connected to this, and it is the one I said starts hours before bedtime. Many people are surprised by this. If you notice any swelling or puffiness in your lower legs or ankles by evening, here is what I want you to try. An hour or two before dinner, lie back and elevate your feet. Put them up on a footstool, a pillow, a rolled blanket, whatever is comfortable. Stay there for 30 to 45 minutes. What you are doing is giving your body a chance to reabsorb that pooled fluid earlier in the evening while you are still awake. If your body does that work at 6 or 7 in the evening, it does not need to do it at 2 in the morning. One older gentleman I know started doing this while watching the evening news. Within about 10 days, he dropped from 3 nighttime trips to 1, sometimes none. He said it felt almost too simple to be real. And this is where the story gets even more important, because what you eat in the evening plays a role too, in a way most people have never connected to their sleep. Late night meals that are large, salty, or high in sugar can all work against you overnight. Salt causes the body to hold fluid and then release it later. High blood sugar, even from a sweet snack before bed, can prompt the kidneys to push out more fluid. If you eat dinner late, or if you tend to snack in the hours before sleep, try shifting your last meal to a bit earlier and keeping it later. Nothing extreme, just thoughtful. My own mother made this change, and she told me it was the first time in years she had slept past 5 in the morning without getting up. The next step is one many people overlook, and it takes about 60 seconds. Before you get into bed each night, visit the bathroom. Use it completely. Then, and this is the part people skip, wait about 30 seconds and try again. Lean very slightly forward. This position helps the bladder drain more fully. The second time, more often than not, something more comes out. It sounds almost too simple, but consistently emptying your bladder before sleep means you are starting the night with as little stored as possible, which gives you a longer window before that urge returns. What is the hardest part of this for you? Is it falling back asleep once you are up? Is it the exhaustion that drags through the next day? Or is it something quieter, a worry in the back of your mind that something might be wrong? Go ahead and write it in the comments. Whatever your answer is, you are in the right place. The last step I want to share is about your evenings, specifically about creating a calming wind down before bed. When the nervous system is still activated from screens, from stress, from a busy mind, the bladder can remain more sensitive than it needs to be. A short, quiet routine before bed helps your whole body shift into rest mode. Even 10 minutes of gentle breathing, or a short walk around the house, or simply sitting quietly in dim light sends a message to your nervous system that it is safe to slow down. And a calmer nervous system often means a calmer bladder. And here is the final practical tool that brings everything together, a simple tracking log. For just 3 or 4 days, write down what you drink and when, what you eat in the evening, what time you go to bed, and how many times you wake up. Nothing elaborate. You are looking for patterns. Maybe you always sleep worse after a glass of wine. Maybe it is connected to a particular food or a stressful day. Patterns reveal themselves quickly when you start looking for them. And that information, whether you use it yourself or share it with a doctor, is genuinely powerful. Speaking of which, if your nighttime urination is sudden, painful, getting rapidly worse, or accompanied by any other new symptoms, please do see your doctor. Some causes do need proper attention, and a good doctor can put your mind at ease quickly. Let me leave you with this. Broken sleep is exhausting. It wears on your body, your mood, your relationships, and your sense of yourself. But it is not simply the price of getting older. It is a signal, and signals can be understood and often changed. You have just learned why this happens, and you have 7 real, natural ways to start shifting it. Fluid timing, an afternoon caffeine cutoff, elevating your legs in the early evening, lighter evening meals, double voiding before bed, a quiet wind-down routine, and a few days of tracking your own patterns. These are not miracle cures. I will never promise you that. But tried consistently, they give your body a genuine chance to sleep more quietly, more deeply, more like itself. If this video gave you something useful, I would be grateful if you gave it a thumbs up. It helps other seniors find this information when they are searching for answers. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do. You deserve information that is honest, practical, and made for you. Good sleep is not a luxury. It is the foundation of everything else, and you deserve it tonight and every night from here on. Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next one.